He created a way to put a logo and a ringtone on our mobile phones. And while no one else was doing it by then, he also invented a way for us normal people to pay for this by SMS. Now he's the leader of an international company. And if that wasn't enough, he's the face of fashion TV. Tomic, a well-rounded man. A man who's able to merge two different worlds. And as we found out, while being with him a whole day in Marbella, just a decent nice guy who seems to have figured out the secret of life. So, what drove you to create your first inventions?
The thing is, I always like to figure out things, especially as a computer nerd. You like to hack around and try to figure out what might be the newest trend. And when we found the logos and ringtones, I thought this might be like the big new thing, which turned out to be like that in the end. So it was a coincidence in a way, and but I think everyone now likes it. So usually the most interesting things come out of coincidences, or out of things that you never expect, and this was the case.
So after creating all of this mobile technology inventions, then doing fashion TV, doing NTV, I mean, after doing all these things, what still drives you now?
I think after realizing that something that you really believe in works and can actually make people happy in a way, especially with the mobile inventions, you just want to continue going. I just want to do things that have an impact on the, let's say, communication world, a positive impact, and that make people happy in the end, because everyone likes to have a ringtone, or a new one still today likes to have a ringtone on his mobile.
So what's the biggest difference between what you did in technology and what you're doing now in fashion?
I actually like both of these things. There is actually a very big difference, because you work with technology, you sit in a basement, you sit behind the computer 14 hours a day. In fashion, you have to be very extroverted. You speak to people, you do interviews, you stand in front of the camera. So it's a very big difference. But if you take both good things out of that, it's amazing, because you get actually two sides of a minus and a plus. You know, I love it, and I would always do it again, to try both things out.
So, are there basic principles for success, according to you?
I think every success has its principle, that's true. What I think is the most important thing is that you never give up on what you're doing, and you have to do it with passion. That's the most important for me. I, for example, dedicated 10 years of my life to make this thing happen, what I believed in. And everyone is going to tell you, no, don't waste your time on that. They don't understand, and they are not in this business. But bottom line, what I can say is, if you really believe in it, if you really do it, if you're willing to dedicate, you're always going to make it.
Okay, Chris, let's have a coffee now.
Let's go.
Has being successful and having a lot of money changed you in any way? I mean, like, really?
It didn't really change me. Success doesn't really have to change you, I think. I still have my same old friends. I hang out with in the same areas. Okay, now we're here in Marbella, which is a nice place to live, but it doesn't really mean that you have to change your habits. The only thing that maybe changed a bit is that I'm not riding a bicycle anymore. Changed it to nice cars, but that's the only thing, because this is my hobby, this is my passion, and I like doing that. Everything else stayed the same. You don't have to, money doesn't change people like everyone says. If you're sticking to that, what you're used to, you're always going to be the same good, hopefully good person.
As busy as you are, how do you relax?
I have quite unusual hobbies, let's say that, for a computer nerd, which is I love to work on my cars. Like handwork, mechanical work, which really gives me peace of my head, because it's so different from what you do every day, sitting in front of the computer, communicating with people in the office. It's sometimes nice just to have the quietness of a garage in a way, and just work without anyone talking to you, work on something where you can really feel what you're doing. That's, for me, the best way to relax.
So to round it off, Chris, what about the future?
I hope that we will still do some nice things for our mobile users. We will invent some nice applications, software to make people happy. That's what we want to do. All the other things that no one knows, but I'm sure everything will turn out well as long as we're sitting here in the sunshine and in such a place. I think nothing can go really wrong, so we are looking towards a bright future.